You are at the boarding gate with your passport in your hand and a backpack on your back. Around you, the airport is complete chaos. Jerseys from every national team in the world mixed together. People are singing and flags are stretched out. The World Cup atmosphere is in the air. But while everyone else seems to be in loud groups, you are alone. Completely alone. You look at your boarding pass. The final destination is New York, one of the biggest metropolises on the planet, about to boil as the epicenter of the greatest show on Earth. A part of your head tells you that you are crazy for crossing the ocean without anyone you know. Another part is exploding with anxiety and adrenaline. You think, there is no turning back now. The ticket is bought. You get on the plane, sit in your seat, and the engine begins to roar. If you are enjoying this journey, subscribe to the channel and leave your like so you do not miss the next chapters of this trip. The flight is long. You try to sleep, but your mind will not stop. When the plane finally touches American soil and you pass through immigration, reality hits you. You walk out of JFK Airport and the New York cold hits your face. Yellow taxis go rushing by, the billboards flash, and the sound of the city is deafening. You pull out your phone to find your way, but you miss the right subway line on your first try. A slight wave of desperation hits you. You look around, see that immensity of concrete, and think, what am I doing here? But you take a deep breath, figure out the right platform, and step into the train car. As the train approaches Manhattan, something begins to change. The car starts filling up with fans. There are Argentinians singing on one side, Moroccans beating drums on the other. That feeling of isolation begins to melt away. You realize that, although you traveled alone, you are not alone. You are part of a global crowd. You arrive at Times Square for the Fan Fest. The giant screens, which usually show advertisements for famous brands, are now displaying game highlights. The energy of the place feels like an electric current. You position yourself in the middle of the crowd to watch the opening match. When the first goal is scored, the place explodes. Without thinking, you hug a stranger who is wearing a completely different jersey than yours. You scream, celebrate, and suddenly you are talking in improvised English mixed with gestures. From that point on, your perception of time changes. The hours fly by, but they feel like entire days because of how much is happening. You walk through Central Park and find a circle of fans doing soccer tricks. You join in. Soccer becomes the only language needed. After the game, hunger strikes. Not just any hunger, but that intense hunger of someone who has walked the entire city. You stop at a classic street cart and order a New York hot dog, or you walk into a dollar pizza slice shop in Brooklyn. The taste of the food, mixed with the exhaustion and the euphoria, feels like the best thing you have ever tasted in your life. At the end of the night, you go back to the hostel or hotel. Your body is exhausted, but your mind is hyperactive, processing every second. You sit on the bed and look out the window, watching the lights of the city that never sleeps. A siren echoes in the distance, the classic sound of New York. For a second, a thought of safety crosses your mind, that hint of paranoia about being in a strange place. But you look at the photos on your phone, remember the laughs with the fans you met hours ago, and relax. The fear disappears. You realize that traveling alone to a World Cup is not about loneliness. It is about freedom. It is about realizing that you are capable of managing on your own in any corner of the world, making friends without knowing their language perfectly, and connecting with something much bigger. The days pass in a blur of colors, anthems, and celebrations. When it is time to pack your bags to return, you notice something curious. The city remains the same. New York traffic is still chaotic. The tournament is still happening. But inside your head, you are already a different person. You lived something new, intense, and absurdly memorable. That insecurity from the boarding gate was left behind, replaced by the certainty that this first solo trip opened a door in your mind that will never close again.